Hello, everyone, and welcome to the VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We apologize for the late start. We've been experiencing some technical issues with the webinar platform we're using. So we're going to make up that time at the end of the webinar. But again, apologies for the late delay. I suggest we just get right into it. So we're going to get started here in a second. But before we do, just to make sure that all of the technical difficulties have been resolved, if you can just confirm in the chat box that you can both hear my voice as well as see my screen, which should say VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call on it, and then we can get started. Thank you. All right, it sounds like we're getting some confirmations. Dean is saying yes. Hello, Dean. Hello, Steve. Hello, Thebe. It looks like we're good to go. So let's get started. Welcome again to the VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. My name is Peter. I'm the product developer or product manager of VooPlayer, and we are holding these weekly calls in order to answer any questions that you as users may have, also to showcase new stuff that we've been working on, gather feedback on any items from you guys as users, so we can keep improving VooPlayer, and I think I covered all of that. So the format is pretty straightforward. At any time that you have a question, just feel free to drop it in the chat box, and we'll start answering those questions in the order that they come in. If you are unable to attend the webinar, the replays are available both on our YouTube channel as well as on our Facebook group, where you can also post questions for the webinar ahead of time so that we can answer them in the next week's call. All right, so without further ado, a couple of announcements that I wanted to make before we get to the to your questions. First one, as I promised last week, let me just make sure that I have the application on the correct server. I believe I do. So the first thing that I wanted to go over is the new approach that we're taking with regards to the overlays and annotations and calls to actions. As you know, that is the most widely used feature in VooPlayer, and more than any locks, more than customization of appearance and styles, the main use case that we've identified with VooPlayer is the addition of some sort of an interactive layer on top of a video with regards to, hey, I want to just add a button in the top left corner, or hey, I just want to add some text annotation across the video. And thus far, the way that's been handled in the application, with more or less a requirement of you knowing HTML encoding for you to create a decent looking overlay, has been anything but user friendly. So that's why throughout the last month or so, we've kind of dedicated a lot of time to reimagining how all of that works in order to accomplish those simple use cases. So I just want to give you a brief sneak preview of what's to come. We've kind of set up all of the controls as we want them, and now we're in the process of kind of flushing out all of the templates which we're going to be using. So that's kind of a giveaway. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to come up with a bunch of templates which are optimized for conversions and are covering a lot of the use cases. And this templating approach gives us the ability to scale up that offering, that value offering to you guys as users rather quickly. So if somebody requests a template, we can quickly add it to the library of templates for overlays and annotations, which is going to make it accessible to everybody and add more value to other users as well. So before I get into all of this, just a quick heads up. As I mentioned, this is kind of a sneak preview, so ignore ugly images and so on. I just wanted to kind of showcase the flow and the functionality of how powerful this is really. So I'm going to come over here into the overlays and annotations, and right up front, of course, these all should be unique images, but right now we're just using some templates. You can quickly select a template for the use case which matches your need. And up on the top, we're going to have categories for those templates. So if you just want to create a quick text link, you'll get a couple of templates for that. So for example, if I just wanted to do that, what do you call it, button in a specific corner of the video, I can just click over here on the simple annotation template. And that's going to create a button that I can then customize further, link it to any web page, make it last. So let's make this button let's have it start at second 1 and last until the end of the video. And we can change its colors. Why not? So let me just give it a nice blue color instead of this pink color. So that's nice, and then I can position it wherever I want it in the video. So if I want to position it on, let's say I want to position it over here in the top right corner, that's a popular spot for the button. So I'll have it positioned there, and then I can also add some animation to that. So on enter animation, I want it to bounce in from the left-hand side. And I can control the speed of that animation. So if I want it to be really slow, I can make it last for 3 seconds, but I think 1 second is just fine for that. Also, I can control what happens on the exit animation. So if I want it to bounce out to the right side, I can do that. That also have that 1 second. And also I can control the animation of what happens while the button is on screen. So instead of it just standing there, which is perfectly acceptable, I can just add it, I don't know, maybe flashing animation. Maybe definitely something a little bit slower than that. So maybe something like that would be cool. In just a few clicks and no coding or anything, I was able to create this button, add animations to it, position it to how I want, and there's some additional settings for opacity, border, if you can skip it, if you want to show progress for it, and so on and so on. But we'll get into those later. So let me save my amazing creation so we can see how it looks like. So now when I play my video, you'll see it jump in, and then it's going to continue flashing for before the end of the video, it's going to slide off to the right. So that's a simple kind of approach to this, and we've kind of improved also the display and the management of overlays and all of that. But that's a very simple example of what this can do. If we want to get a little bit more advanced into this, so pending what the template is, so we're going to have a lot of different templates. So for example, if I want to add something a little bit more detailed, for example, if I wanted to maybe showcase a product that I have, such as, I don't know, if I'm selling ice cream and I want to have a promotion for ice cream, then I can have, I want to have this come in on second 3, and then I can position it where I want it in the video. So maybe it doesn't make sense, so that those are going to overlap. So I'll have it over here on the left-hand side, and I can just, I'll just have an enter animation. Let's just have it fade in for maybe like 2 seconds. Let's see how that's going to look like. That looks pretty cool. So we'll just leave it as that, and then you can of course customize all of the content and change all of the colors for the backgrounds, for the individual lines of text. Maybe something like too dark, something like this would be nice. And then you can change all of the different images and the URL ref. I see some I see some questions already coming to this. Is that URL there by default, or did you put it there now? That URL is there by default, as we're just kind of mocking this up, but of course you can customize this to anything, so you can have it go to mysite.com or whatever. And you can of course change the image which is being used, or choose from one of the previous images which you've uploaded, and again change all of the other colors as well. Cool thing about this is that while you're working on a particular template, so for example, if you're working on this template, and let's have this one also go until the end of the video. While you're working on this template, if you see that a particular template is not working out for you, or you want to try something else, you can quickly switch templates for a particular overlay. So I was using this one, I'll use this one. So you can quickly switch from one template to another, and then continue with the same values without losing the presets. So the same image and the same content and link and the same colors are going to be saved across that template. So you can just continue working with a different template and try out different templates very, very, very easily. So that's what I wanted to showcase to you guys with regards to and again, as I mentioned, there's really a lot of different templates enabling you to do a lot of cool stuff. So let me just kind of do this again. So you can do interactive stuff. You can do, let me just filter this by notebox. So chat box and notebox. So chat box, you can create like something like this, for example, where you have somebody pop in, and if you're explaining something in the video, this would be good for you to say something like, hey, I forgot to mention in the video that you can also purchase this at a discount, and so on and so on and so on. So this is something that we think is going to bring a lot of value, this templating approach, and this better control of the all of the better management of the controls in the content and images and animation and position and different settings for the overlays is something that's going to make a lot more sense to users when they're creating the overlays, which is, as I mentioned, the most utilized feature in VooPlayer by far. And we are really hoping to, we're going to come up with maybe 10 or 20 templates which are going to be included in the first release of this, so you can start playing with them. And from there on, we really hope to scale this with your feedback with regards to what kind of different templates are you looking to build. Two important things to note: all of the old overlays are going to, of course, continue working independently, unless you, of course, choose to replace them to new overlays. And what else did I want to mention? In answer to Andrea's question, yes, this is going to be included both on the enterprise license as well as on the pro license as well. So no restrictions on any of these features. One thing that's also missing from this is that and that's one of the final pieces of the puzzle that we're putting together, is that we also want to come up with templates which which have opt-in boxes within them, so that you can feature email capture leads forms within these overlays, and the templates for those are of course going to be optimized for that use case as well. So that's I think a good overview of kind of the approach that we want to take with this, and everything that we're kind of thinking about doing. So, and as I mentioned, all of this is going to be available in the next couple of releases. We're slowly going to start rolling it out with an initial batch of templates, and seeing how we can gather some feedback with regards to this, and see if we can get even more template ideas to help us scale this. Let's see. Gad is saying, please add quiz templates. not necessarily sure how quizzes would work as an overlay. Those could be like simple yes or no questions, but then again, what do you want to do necessarily when somebody answers yes or no are better questions. What I believe, if you really want to do interactive quizzes, I believe you really want to kind of focus on the video funnels module, which allows you to ask questions throughout certain points of the video, and then based on those answers, take specific actions. Andres is also asking, would you be able to customize the overlays with CSS also? So that's one of the things that the approach which we're taking really is rather than expecting users to customize these templates on your own, we're really trying to come up with a framework which would work and which would be expected to work flawlessly, both across desktops as well as mobile devices and so on and so on. So we are really putting a lot of effort into this, and at least thus far, we are not envisioning utilizing any sort of additional custom CSS on top of this. We're going to have one category of templates, which is going to be custom HTML, which is going to allow you to basically enter any HTML, including CSS as well. So that way you're going to be able to do, if you want to do something custom, like embed special scripts or embed your own styling, etc., etc. So that category is going to be there for anybody who wants to use it. Kindly answer questions from bottom up and not the other way around. I believe I answered that question, that the URL is there by default. Since we are kind of mocking this up, we'll change it to example.com in order to not showcase full player for sub accounts. As I said, this is not live yet, nor will it become live for at least another couple of weeks as we're finalizing some of these templates and these features. So no threat there. All right, that's what I wanted to showcase you guys. Aside from that, also an announcement with regards to on the last week's call, I demonstrated some of the major performance optimizations that we're doing. We're finalizing testing on all of that, and that's looking good as well. So those are, and that's also expected in the next couple of releases as well. So those are the big two improvements which are coming to VooPlayer. The improved method for loading the videos in the player and improving the performance of the player across your pages, as well as the new approach to the overlays and annotations which we're releasing. So with that said, we can start getting to your questions. Let's see. Here is what you missed. Please remove it for white label. Did not miss that, as I mentioned. We will use a different URL, something like example.com. This is just for demo purposes. All right, cool. We can start getting to your questions. No questions thus far, as I can see. So if you have any questions, now will be a good time to just post them in the chat box so that we can start answering them in the order that they come in. Aside from that, I'll make a couple of other announcements that I've made throughout the last couple of weeks. So, well, if you're new to VooPlayer, one of the great ways to kind of communicate with us and provide us with feedback on things which you think should work better and things which you think should be added. We recently added a product board over here. If you click on documentation and support up top in the toolbar, you can jump directly to the product board where you can see what's kind of the progress on some of the planned features which we're making. Also, what are some of the things which we have under consideration, and also some of the things which we recently launched. And you can, of course, submit your own ideas from here. So this portal, which is available from the application as well as from VooPlayer.com/ideas, is already providing us with a lot of feedback, and it's a really helpful tool for us to organize and prioritize feedback that you guys are providing to us. So keep using it, please, and continue submitting your ideas. It's extremely valuable to us. Sorry I didn't get that. No problems. I'm glad to repeat it. Andres is saying, are you going to add a replace video source function soon? The replace video source function is currently, if I'm not mistaken, working for linked videos. So you can change a video. So let me just pull this up. So you can change, let me find one. I think all of my videos are actually uploaded. I don't have any linked videos. So if I have a linked video, such as this YouTube video, I am able to come over here to the video settings. And over here, I can click on replace video source URL. And here I have the current source. And then I can replace that with the new source. And but by uploading a new video. Yeah, so we don't have the functionality for replacing the source for uploaded videos. That's a bit of a tricky process as that requires uploading a new video and then converting it again and then putting it in queue again for optimized resolutions. But glad you mentioned that. We haven't had that feedback in a while, so that's going to help us prioritize it as well. So thanks for that. No, we're just to mention that we're not actively working on that, but thanks for your feedback. We'll be able to prioritize that a little bit higher. All right. Are there any other questions? Feel free to speak up. No question is too silly. So if you have any other comments, if you've noticed anything looking buggy with WooPlayer, this would be a great time for us to discuss that and to bring it to our attention, anything that comes to mind. If not, we can start slowly wrapping this up. Thanks for the hard work. It really, the feedback is what's driving us. So the more positive feedback we hear, the more critiques we hear, the more motivated we are to continue improving WooPlayer and to continue supplying with new ways that we can contribute value to video marketing efforts. Let's see. Andres is saying, the current method, if you have mistakes in your videos, is to manually mass upload the video and then apply the settings and then having to replace the publish link on the pages where it's used. This is quite a bit impractical when you have it across many pages. This is true. You definitely need to replace that embed code on all of the videos. So we'll definitely, as I mentioned, prioritize the replacement of video source for the uploaded files a little bit higher, and that way we can make that use case a little bit easier. Gad is saying, can you do a quick overview of video funnels? Yes, of course. So video funnels are intended primarily for interactive branching of users' behavior of videos' behavior towards viewers. So I'm going to create a demo funnel, and I'll select the video, and let me do one of these overlay videos, which I just overlay testing video, one of these two. I'm not sure which one it is. So I'll just create a funnel. So I've created a funnel with now what I have as the first question. So what I'm able to do here is specify when the first question is going to appear. So let's say I want the first question to appear in, let's say, second 3 of the video. And I want this question, you can specify the question to say whatever you want. For example, are you a male or a female? And you can style that however you want and customize that content, and then you can provide answers to that question. So you can say I'm a male and I'm a female, and you can additionally upload images as answers, or you can completely change the style of the way that the questions are appearing. So I like this overlay style, so I'll keep that. Are you a male or a female? So and of course you can add additional answers. I'm something else, for example. And then you can, again, customize the actions for, I'm just going to remove this question. You can customize the actions which will happen if somebody answers with a particular answer. So if somebody answers, hey, I'm a male, then maybe you want to replace the video. So if somebody answers I'm a male, you can say jump to a new video. Or if somebody says I'm a male, you can redirect them to a different page. So for example, if somebody answers male, I'll just take them to woolplayer.com. And if somebody answers I'm female, I'll continue playing the video. And then you can start adding sub-questions. So if somebody answers I'm a female, then you can add a sub-question at, let's say, second. So we'll add this question at second 5. I think the first one was at second 3. And then you can say, oh, cool, you're a female. Do you like to travel? Or maybe do you like shoes? I don't know. And then they can answer yes and no. So if they answer no, I can take them somewhere else. But if they answer yes, you can continue playing the video, or you can change the video to jump to new video, and you can search for a new video. For example, we'll take the overlays. I don't know which one of these. Maybe I think I just selected the same video, but it doesn't matter. And that way you kind of build your funnel. So now I'll save, and you can go to infinite depth with these questions. So now I've kind of created my funnel, and then I can watch it. I think I'll have some overlays over that. Quick. What am I missing? Oh, I'm on a dev server here. All right, give me 1 second. I just need to log into the actual server. And I think that funnel, did I save it? I think I saved it. All right. And the funnels. Any plans for a visual representation of the video funnel flow? Yes. So if you, I think I need to refresh this page. There is this option for a model tree. Let me just refresh this page. There is this option for the model tree, which kind of provides you with a visual breakdown of, well, currently it's not much, but it provides you with sort of a tree of how everything kind of branches out. The idea here is if we get really a lot of feedback with regards to the utilization of funnels and people really wanting to use this, is to make this process a little bit easier by providing some sort of drag and drop interactions around funnels, which would allow people to create questions and reorder questions and change what happens to those questions just by kind of dragging and dropping and clicking around with their mouse rather than going through this entire setup with sub questions. So that's something that's going to make that also a little bit more clear and easier to understand. But thus far, you only have this sort of model tree, which just outlines the branching of the funnel. So that's something that's there and is helpful. So that's basically how funnels work, is that you just provide a system of questions, and you are expecting to take different actions based on different answers, right? Drag and drop would be competitive with Interactor. Kindly note that funnel is not working at all on sub account. Yep. All right. We'll check that out as well, together with the playlist issue for the sub accounts. All right. All right. Now we really gotta call it quits. I have another meeting that I have to get to, unfortunately. So I want to thank you for your time and contributing your feedback to helping us improve WooPlayer. And hopefully we'll see you next week when we'll present some more improvements to the overlay, some additional funnels that we're working on, and also some additional improvements to performance, and hopefully a lot of these resolutions around sub-accounts, accessing funnels, and playlist features. All right, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.